So, do you guys remember how we keep on talking about how the difficulty curve in this game is utterly fucked and the slightest amount of effort can render the entire game meaningless? Well, it's time for all that to go out the window.
In fact, if anything, it's about to go in the complete opposite direction. If you have not been participating in breaking the game over your knee, you are about to get a very rude wake-up call.
Yep, it's the DLC fights. And just like all the DLC creatures you can have are completely broken in your favour, all of this is completely broken against you. Oh yeah, also there'll be fan service.
So much fan service.
Oh yeah! Snow Villiers is here! What? You! My introduction! I can't believe you ruined it! Sorry, got bored of waiting. You'll pay for that! Prepare to be thrashed, for you face the mighty Gilgamesh! You're the guy that collects weapons? I got a fist for you right here! Come then! Your aim sucks! We shall see! Perhaps you missed my extra arm! Is that a joke? Ice one!
Off your game, hero.
That's not fair! I was winning! Warriors seeking to claim supremacy gather from beyond the continuum. Now is the time for glory!
So yeah, these are just some fights. Any questions?
Oh wait, we're not done yet.
Alright.
We still have more fan service to get through.
The universe stretches into infinity. What light can survive its expanse? Dare you face the envoy of the stars?
So yeah. You might be starting to see a theme here.
Those lost to the shadows of history will defy reality and be reborn. Can't be.
What do you suppose I am? A ghost made flesh? A servant of chaos? I am your waking nightmare! A puppet of the foul sea?
You gonna call me that too?
You're not even dead! Why would we worry about that?
Like, did anyone even particularly care about him? I mean, he was in, like, what, one scene?
Is that any way to talk to your commanding officer? Maybe I need to reteach you your basic training. Well, looks like everyone's here.
Not everyone.
Behold, travelers of the timeline, come to join this fateful contest. This is my lucky day. I've been waiting for this chance.
So yeah, welcome to Snow's DLC.
I don't see how this is Snow's DLC.
the whole thing is his side story. And to be fair, he is the hardest of the fights, so... Or at least the last one you're intended to fight.
It just looks like he's, like, peripherally involved in this particular bit of bullshit, and... Like, you know, this is the Colosseum DLC in which Snow happens to be a participant. I mean... Like, it's like you might as well call all of them Sarah and Noel's DLC. Well, actually, no, you can't actually call any of them that, but, you know, just because they were there, participating. This one basically is Sarah and Noel's DLC, because they're here to fight all of the guys. It's as much theirs as it is Snow's. What I'm saying is that this arbitrary naming scheme makes no sense. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, we can't call it, like... I don't know.
The Colosseum DLC?
That would... I guess, but the other is like, we have a Saws DLC, we have a Lightning DLC, and then we have the thing where Snow is here, and it's pretty much all about what Snow does, so... You know, whatever.
Oh well. So am I to understand then that Snow has once again found himself in a random corner of time punching something for hundreds of years on end? You know, again.
I was gonna say, can you really say it's hundreds of years? I mean, at this point, we're in the void. Who the fuck knows how long it's been?
Well, hundreds of years, hundreds of seconds, kind of arbitrary at this point, really. Well, he can talk this up, I'll give him that.
Alright, so, like I said, there are about 6 or 7 fights, and we're going to start with Lightning and Amadar. They are probably the fairest of the whole bunch, if that's worth anything.
You know, for a very particular reading of fair.
They're the fairest in as much as you can beat them reasonably at the end of the game, and you don't need, like, super bullshit broken monsters or anything, just to stand a chance.
Well, alright then. I like how even in the Colosseum they spend at least a whole minute talking before they fight.
Alright, so, yeah, Lightning works pretty much exactly like you'd think she does. She does a lot of quick attacks. None of them are particularly damaging, but she attacks very quickly.
So yeah, it will add up fast. Hey, I like that we're bringing Odin against her. That's kind of spitefully ironic, I guess.
Yeah, anyway, for this first phase of the fight, what you want to do is you want to... After a certain amount of time, or right before she gets staggered, we move to the next phase. You don't need to see much more of that. It's it's just more of that.
Having trouble with the Cubs, Sergeant Farron? All out of that lightning zap? Alrighty. Time to boost troop morale.
That certainly is a thing that people say.
Your mission is to dominate this field of battle. I want to hear that blade sing.
So now there's 2 of them.
Yes, and they act just like your party.
So yeah, remember a couple videos ago I said that there was basically one enemy in this entire game that does something that's vaguely like paradigm shifting? This is them.
And it's not vaguely like paradigm shifting, it is just flat out, outright paradigm shifting. That's what it is.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, sure, it changes what attacks they do, but it doesn't change anything about stats.
Well, it changes their abilities, it changes their attack patterns. And they actually do outright use the same names that you do for the 2-man parties, so...
Yeah, it's a pretty good approximation. But it isn't quite.
Yeah, it's not quite as good as the Sid fight from 13, but it's about as close as you're gonna get.
So presumably they're playing fair and have 6 paradigms to choose from.
I think it is, actually.
Because we've seen Double Trouble and Sap and Salve.
I was gonna say, I don't know the exact full list off the top of my head, but they have a slash and burn equivalent, they have double dose, I remember that. They have one where Amadar's a Saboteur. I don't remember what it's called. Might be this one, actually.
Well, that's the thing, is that we know that Lightning's canonical roles are Commando, Ravager, and Medic. But in order for them to be using Sap and Salve, she has to have either Saboteur or Synergist as well. So maybe they're not playing exactly fair.
She's multi-class. We'll give her that. Lightning is a passable synergist after a while.
That is true. She's probably I would say she's like one of the most passable synergists of the people who don't start with the ability to be a synergist, mostly because she gets all those awesome Ra buffs.
Oh, Divide and Conquer, that was another one they have. I don't remember what that is, though, off the top of my head.
Isn't it Commando and Saboteur?
Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, once you kill one of them, this happens. Lightning or Amadar, whichever one's left standing, will immediately cast Limit Breach and then do their special attack.
What's Amadar's special?
We'll see it later. I actually do have a part of the video which is the solo Amadar fight.
Alright.
But, okay, but to make a long story short, they now have a permanent set of 4 buffs. For Lightning, it's Haste, Bravery, Faith, and Vigilance.
That's evil.
Yeah! And also, the game just totally does away with the whole paradigm thing at this point.
Nah, she's now permanently in motherfucker paradigm. I mean, as I recall, in all of the 13 games where you can paradigm shift, whenever you're playing with exactly one person, your 6 paradigms just become the 6 roles, and you can do whatever the hell you want. So, you know, I guess that's something.
But yeah, so, basically, she is totally immune. Like, those 4 buffs that she has, they are permanent, you cannot ever dispel them, and she is immune to all of their counters.
Huh.
So in other words, you can only hit her right now with D-Shell and D-Protect.
Well, I guess that makes sense. If they're like completely pervasive passive buffs, then that would de facto just make her immune to all the opposites. It's kind of how this game works.
But yeah, thankfully, she is the easier of the 2 to kill solo, because none of her stuff boosts her defensively, and her stagger point is like 350%, so once you get that high, she's basically done.
Also, I like how she still uses like the commando passives, like Power Chain. Or is that a commando or a Ravager passage? I can never.
Power Chain is commando.
Yeah. The point is, all of those silly abilities that you set in the Crystarium and in 13 and then never ever remember again, but always benefit from, are still there. Only now they're being used against her, and you kind of wonder what it's all for. Also, holy shit, you actually use the Feral Link.
Yeah, well, Feral Links also really boost your ability to get monster crystals. Oh yeah, and that's another big thing. You are not guaranteed to get the crystal of whatever fight you do.
Of course not. Otherwise you wouldn't have to grind them. If you didn't have to grind them, you might only get about 40 minutes of playtime out of this DLC.
So yeah, here's the Amadar fight. As you can see, he has Regen, Protect, Shell, and Veil.
That's also evil.
He is a motherfucker. Not because he's particularly hard to hurt, but just that he takes so little damage from everything.
And then you've got to keep it up, otherwise regen will just make everything pointless.
Also, it doesn't help that the debuffs that he's vulnerable to are I think Poison, which only negates regen, and Imperil.
Huh. So you can actually have regen and poison up at once.
Yeah, it either outright negates it, or you just, like, barely get any health regen.
Well, either way, it's a, just over time, it's a huge benefit to you, so why not? Probably save you, like, something like half of his entire health bar and damage at some point, depending on how long the fight goes on. Hey, you said something about getting to see his special.
Yep, here it is, it's coming.
I'm gonna guess it involves a long and sustained burst of fire from that stupid gun.
It does not, in fact. He just runs up and punches a motherfucker.
And by punch you mean it fades to black and then some generic particle effects happen, so that the animators didn't have to actually go to any effort for this. And then after all that, he still dies to poison.
Yup.
I guess it does inflict damage over time.
It's very, very, very slow, though. But yeah, so to put a small note on that, because that is a double fight, you actually get 2 layers of bullshit. You are only allowed to get the last person you kill in that pair. So if you kill Amadar second, you can only get Amadar's crystal. On top of not even being guaranteed to get that much.
Better play again, and again, and again, and again.
If the blessings of the goddess were ungiven, perhaps those closest to you could have watched up here, their dreams broken and beaten.
I don't see what any of this has to do with Jill the Bot. I mean, she wasn't that interested in destruction. She just, like, was a colossal dick to people. And, it was one of the many and monumental failings of Final Fantasy XIII that it never really told us much about what any of these people actually wanted. So what the hell was Jill the Bot trying to do? What was she all about, really? Can somebody tell me anything interesting about her? One thing.
And ever-changing, a mystery no one can solve. That is why humans are such contradictions. One moment they're at each other's throats. The next, they're forming shaky alliances. Will this happen to you two, I wonder? I'll hold out my hand and smile while I give you my terms.
It was very dramatic when she took off those glasses.
I'm pretty sure the last thing that she said kind of negates any kind of impact any of the other things that she said might have had.
Alright, so... yeah, let's talk about the Nabat fight here. She is a saboteur. She does not do very much direct fighting, she mostly just summons a bunch of monsters, and then you just kind of duke it out with them for a while.
Saboteurs can't do that. That's cheating.
So every so often she'll use Sneer or like defensive formation and stuff like that, and she'll put out some buffs on them. And then after a while she does Sacrifice Pawn. And when she does that, she will A, get a whole bunch of health back, B, inflict a bunch of debuffs on you, and then C, do this.
Did that just obliterate a sentinel?
I think it actually obliterated lightning, but yes. Yes, it did.
Alright then. Well, that looks like utter bullshit, but I guess what can you do? This is the post-game DLC fights. We came expecting bullshit.
Right, now on top of that, she has a huge chain resistance. And she combines that with a 500% stagger meter.
Oh, that just sounds delightful.
So, not only will it take you a very, very long time to get there, you've got to weather all kinds of bullshit. And it should be noted that the lower her health gets, or the higher her stagger gets, I'm honestly not sure which one it's actually tied to, she will start summoning more and more dangerous monsters. So, like, right now she has, like, you know, like maybe one behemoth and, like, a couple of those little, you know, dog things. Towards the end, she'll be like, alright, now there's, like, she'll just, like, snap her fingers and it's like, okay, now there's 3 behemoths on the field.
Well then. I'm starting to understand why everyone hates all of this so much. I mean, it's not like it was particularly complicated before, but... So was that move just like a one-hit kill on one person?
Pretty much. Yeah, even through Protect, there's almost no way to stop that unless you were already guarding when she comes to hit you.
Well, in that case, isn't it not really that big of a deal? Because you can more or less instantly recover from one person getting knocked out.
Yes, from one person.
But it only hits one person.
No. That's an area of effect attack.
Okay. So it's just coincidence that it happens to be only hitting one person.
Right, it's a small area of effect, but it is absolutely an area of effect attack.
Well, alright then. So this is another one of those times where the fact that you can't manually tell your people to stand away from the Sentinel can utterly fuck you over.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's assuming that she's even locked onto the Sentinel to begin with, too.
Yeah, generally the formation control thing always ends up being complete bullshit one way or another. Oh well. He's staggered now, so you can fuck her up, right?
Yep, we can absolutely fuck her up.
You know, apart from the behemoths. Is that... Like, what is that other enemy?
No, they're both behemoths.
Okay. Ah, yes. Huh. Oh, that was weird.
Give me your strength.
Right, and then she does this right in the middle of her stagger, which gives her back about...
Didn't look like that much. Okay.
So yeah. Nabat is kind of a bullshit fight.
So I see.
Right, but you get the gist of it, though. That's how it would go.
Yeah, just hopefully without that last part happening. I'm gonna guess all of these guys are bullshit broken as paradigm monsters.
Not exactly bullshit broken, but they're pretty good, all things considered.
Like, more or less effortlessly outclassing other shit that you can capture, other than XIII-2.
Maybe not quite that good, but more or less, yeah. Amadar is solid, with a lot of HP, but otherwise he's not too special. Lightning is one of the the best Ravager you can get without dumping tons and tons of effort into a blue Chocobo. So, you know.
Well, okay. I guess we could go through all of the fights in this, but that would be utter bullshit, so let's not do that.